Push the button, girl.
We are live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to season 2, episode 2 of A Set Apart Woman. So excited. Y'all come on in the room. Come on in the room. It's Friday, August 14th. Shout outs to my mommy. It's her birthday. Happy birthday,
mommy.
Happy birthday to you. Okay, plan because I told y'all we're not gonna do karaoke. But
We're not gonna do it today.
We're not gonna do it today. You are
Why I can't share this, Shannon?
It's on my Facebook. You ask me this every week. Yes,
it's not on your Facebook. I'm looking at it.
It is because it says I got live. Y'all excuse this moment of clarity. While we share it to our pages.
Thank you. so were we on?
It says Facebook. So let me see.
I don't see it on your Facebook.
Learn. Let me see. You are live. View on Facebook.
Let me go out and go back in. How about that?
Of your Facebook?
On your I was looking on your page.
Okay.
Well, so I can share it to my page.
Oh, I'm tagging you. You already tagged to it.
I don't see it.
I think it's the same. Okay. There you go. You see?
There we go. Now I have it. All right.
What it does is it takes the schedule and how many days ago I did it is what will turn into a live. So it may not show immediately, but it's there. I promise. Because I pulled it up and I was like, this is the outfit I have on, and I didn't have this 6 days ago. It literally just came in the mail 2 days ago because they sent me the wrong item. Shout out to
I was getting ready to say, you still ordering stuff, Miss Shannon?
Ma'am, I'm done. That's why I made the post. Look, let's go back. We didn't skip all the way into a conversation. So I am your co-host, Ford-Jefferson. We got excited and went from happy birthday, mommy, to how you share this on your live. I'm your co-host, Ford-Jefferson, and this is my co-host, Traci J. Caver. How are you, ma'am?
Hey, y'all. I am blessed and highly favored by the Lord Jesus.
Shadow. I like your shirt. Lift it up. Let me see. You advertising, but can't nobody see it. All right, living beneath his shadow.
That is my brand. That is who I am, who I represent.
I am here for it. Okay, so let's get into this real quick before we get into that. Okay. So you asked me a question, am I still spending money? The answer is yes. I've been supporting Black businesses that have been on my Blackout 2020, that website. And so I bought some cream, I bought some lip treatment, stuff like that. Do I need to buy anything anymore? No. But this is what I'm doing in September. I am having a virtual garage sale.
Oh, okay.
It has been determined that this one, aka Shannon, all these shenanigans gonna have to stop. So a lot of these new without tags, never been worn, shoes, clothes, journals, purses, you name it, I got it. It's got to go. It's a liquidation sale in my house. I gotta get rid of it. I can't take it with me. I'm trying to grow a brand, a business, trying to make some money elsewhere. And I'm putting all my money into things that are not doing me any justice right now at this moment.
Okay. So. All right. I think that's a good idea.
So you gonna buy something? Is that what I hear?
Yeah, I probably will buy something. You know, I try to support.
Okay. Hi, Rasheen.
You do have cute stuff, though. So I do.
You sound like Melissa. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till your sale. I said, girl, when you see all the stuff that I need to get rid of, you're going to be like, where was this stuff hiding at? Man, listen, I look like a baby hoarder. And if somebody came into my room right now, they'd be like, intervention! What is happening? Ah!
But do you still have a storage?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
No, ma'am.
Cover that.
the too waste of money. I got too much stuff. And I was like, yo, I can't even play my vinyl records because it's like, where am I put my vinyl record player down at so I can play my music? Like, I know I got to get rid of some stuff. The end. I know Teddy is like, I hate it here.
Teddy is my boo baby.
So I'm like, let me get my life together. Which is a perfect segue into the topic of conversation. Today we decided we were going to talk about scars, but I also want to unpack a couple of things. I want to unpack this thing you just made me watch.
Oh my God. Is it powerful or what?
Spirit. Yes, we need to unpack that. We need to unpack soul ties. Like, we need to just do like little snippets today. Like,
okay. All right.
Categories. So the reason why, and I said this on one of my lives before, why scars and stars became such an important thing for me to keep bringing up after 14, 15 years of not looking at it, 13 years of not looking at it. I was in a class at Dallas Theological Seminary, and I don't remember what class it was, but I remember that the assignment was do a life map, write out all your information from birth until current, attach every significant event, attach a scar, something that pained you, hurt you, mistreated you, made you feel bad, attach a scar to it. And then everything that made you happy, joyful, was an accomplishment, a success, brought peace to your life, attach a star to it. The goal in all of that was to truly see not just the hand of, but the face of God. And I attached, in my own further understanding of myself, I attached how I felt about those things that happened in my life, and then spoke to my inner child. Because at this time I was an adult. So it was like, you got to do some healing work too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just looking at a life map and saying, oh, this happened to me. It is healing work that needs to take place. So that's why I'm like, yo, we gonna do this. It is important, it's necessary, it's vital, and that's what we're gonna do. And so that's what I did. I wrote it out. My professor was like, you really put a lot of thought into this. I was like, oh, this is necessary. This needed to happen. This wasn't just me being obedient to the assignment. This was being obedient to myself. Healing, light work, telling my previous self, I got you. We gonna accomplish great things in the future. Mm-hmm. And apologizing to myself when people weren't around to apologize to me for what they may have done, what they may have said, how they may have acted, how they didn't show up for me. Because as a child, I didn't necessarily know how to show up for myself. So it was the people who were caretaking for me's responsibility to show up for me, and sometimes that didn't happen. So it was a powerful experience. And so when we discussed that, and you were like, I want to do it, and I was like, let's do it, because it had been years since I had done. From that point, I was like, yo, I got a lot of stuff in this window of from Dallas until now, Key West. I was like, I got a lot of stuff I could add. So yeah, that's why we're here. That's why we're going to talk about it. But I'll just ask you some simple questions. In your process of doing scars and stars, what did you learn about yourself, your healing, your light work that you want to share or expound upon?
Doing scars and stars, I noticed that I have more scars than stars. But it also helped me to set goals to have more stars than scars in the future.
Yeah.
And it showed me that I let a lot of things slide that I should not, and also that I had to learn to apologize to myself for the things that I allowed to occur that I could have put a stop to, or that I could have avoided. And so, I mean, it really opened my eyes to me, my character, and then therapy piggybacked off of that, because, they ask you questions about, knowing this person was this way, why did you allow them in your life? What in you made you think that that's all you were worthy of, or that you were worthy of that?
Come on now.
It really opened my eyes up to see a map of myself and the things that I did, the things that I allowed, and the things that hurt me, the things that pushed me. So I made a promise to myself that my future would contain more stars than scars, because my past has a lot of scars. I mean, and and it's not that I didn't have stars. It's just that my mind highlights the scars more than it does the stars. I'm sure there were stars there, but the heart remembers the hurt more than it does the joy. And so my mind, can go back to the scars more than it does the stars.
Wow. You know what? I think, and that's another reason why I'm pulling and I'm digging deeper. I encouraged other people to take inventory or stock of their life and look at things that they could acknowledge and analyze and assess, so that they could acquire different things in their life, so that they could pursue different things, so that they could, change the path, or even look at different patchwork. Like you just said, your heart acknowledges more hurt than it does maybe happiness or things that, bring life to yourself. But the reality is that we still have to dig deeper in those things, because even in the scars, the hand of God is still prevalent.
Oh yes.
It still teaches us that, things have happened to us for a reason. They happen to us because, maybe to build our character, maybe to test us, maybe to give that testimony to someone at a later date. I mentioned that about my father passing. That didn't just happen to me for me. That happened to me so that when I went to college that next semester, I could sit there in Argo Hall having a conversation with another individual who lost their dad. And she was fresh in her pain, and she was fresh in her frustration. And I was like, yo, I'm not new to this.
Right.
Grief is not a destination. It's a process.
Right.
It's a revolving door. It opens and closes in situations and circumstances that may be long after the situation itself.
Right.
And so I'm not here to say, oh, we can compare notes because your dad was active in your home. My dad was not. But the thing is, we both lost our fathers.
Right.
And so I had to start looking at the window of my opportunities in my stars and stars as, how is this going to help somebody else?
Right.
How is this going to minister to somebody else? How is this going to bring healing to someone else? Because now that I'm doing my work, or I've done my work, it's time to share that with someone else.
Right. Now, and David said, create in me a clean heart, oh God. And he said, and then when I teach transgressions thy ways, and sinners shall be converted unto thee. So the thing about us is that once we go through our scars and our healing process, it's our responsibility to go back. It is our responsibility to bring those forward that are in the same situation. No, we can't. We don't have the same pain. We don't have the same journey. We don't have the same experience, but I can be empathetic and sympathetic to you.
Absolutely.
And my journey will help you through your journey. So that's why our testimony, the Bible says we're overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And that's why our testimony is so important. Your testimony is even important to you, because you have to testify and encourage yourself as well as others. So the scars they're to you, but they're not necessarily always for you.
That part.
So God has a panoramic view. We see what's in front of us. God has a panoramic view. He knows all the people we're going to run into that are going to need to hear our story, we're going to need to be transparent with, that we are going to need to tell the God honest truth, that we're going to have to bear our soul to. And that's not everybody. You got to have discernment. You got to be careful. But God knows those people, and he puts things in our lives so that we'll be able to help others come up. So I appreciate it. It was an eye opener for me. Somebody has a question.
Yes, that's why I left it up. And I don't know if he's still on here, because he said earlier that he was at 7% and his phone was going to die, but he'll hang in for a bit. But we'll answer the question. He can always come back. So he says, do you feel that, based on the social issues that we continue to struggle with, do you feel that these past scars are focused on too much rather than looking forward to heal those scars? Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'm going to say, and this is just what I believe based on my own experience and what I've seen based on other people that I've come in contact with. I think that, he said he's here. Perfect. I think that a lot of times we are plagued with everything that's going on in the world. Social media, the news, everything is posting from a negative light. A lot of times you don't see the positivity that happens. And so also when you're around people in your energy circles, your vibe, your tribe, all of that, if you're feeling down today, it's a possibility that other people around you are feeling the same. So you're getting those like-minded stories. And so it's easier, yes, to focus on your scars. But if you don't even know that there are things that you can heal, because a lot of people are waiting on apologies that they'll never get, opposed to just doing the work and addressing your own hurt and your own hang up and your own misery from something that happened to you. Because you can heal what hurt you, you can't necessarily heal who hurt you. And so doing that work, people have to realize that you don't have to wait for somebody to apologize to you to do the work, to heal. A lot of people don't know that. And a lot of people also don't feel like they have the permission to heal. You absolutely have permission to heal. Being broken is not cute. Being broken is not attractive. Being broken is not something you want to put on your resume. You can't sell. Now, I wouldn't buy it, but I don't want to be sold brokenness. I don't want somebody to say, here, take this cup of brokenness and go out and be broken for the rest of your life. I don't want a woe is me life. And a lot of people live in that woe is me life. And it's not that hard to do when you look at everything around you. And so you'll hear people, televangelists, pastors, motivational speakers, they'll say, get you around some people who
are where you want to go,
who inspire you to be where they are,
right?
Who encourage you, who hold you accountable, who will be honest and transparent and authentic. And I'm not none of those people, but that is my life work. If you are not redemptive and restorative in the relationship to yourself, you can't be redemptive and restorative into the relationship with other people. And if you can't be authentic and transparent to yourself, how you gonna be authentic and transparent to other people? And a part of that is light work and healing. And that's why I always stress, heal what hurt you. Don't worry about the who. The who might be dead. The who might not care. The who might not ever come to you and say, I was wrong. They may not think they was wrong. They may not even remember what you're talking about. But you can still do the work. You can still grow from that adversity, that pain, and look back and say, look how far I've come. Look how mighty this seed that's been planted that people tried to destroy has grown. We got to stop holding people to our standard of saying they need to apologize before I can feel better. You can feel better now. You just got to be audacious enough to do that. Do the steps. Put in the work. Address yourself. We all got skeletons in our closet. We all got monsters under our bed. We all got giants in our land. How are you attacking those things? How are you addressing those things? How are you acknowledging that you no longer have to be bound to brokenness? That's what that's about. People don't want to face that. But when you get you some good people in your life, AKA, no, this way, that way. Oh, my accountability partner. When you get you some good people in your life, who's going to say, we're not going to do this? We're not going to behave in this manner. We're going to address ourselves first. Because she'll tell you, a queen does not come off her throne to argue or debate with, peasants. We're not doing it.
We don't.
I'm going to work with me, deal with me, and those who need to be around me will come approach me correctly.
Absolutely. And you know me, this is my thing, because we are responsible for our own healing.
Absolutely.
You need to understand. If you don't understand nothing else, nobody owes you anything. You are responsible for your own healing. If you choose not to heal, if you choose not to deal with the circumstances in your life, if you choose to stay broken, that is your choice. And the problem is we put our healing, we put our advancement, we put our life on somebody else's plate, and then we want them to help us do what we need to do. We need to learn how to help ourselves. And just to address the question that he asked, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we use the past as an excuse to stay where we are.
That
because
part.
we were all, you hear it all the time. The white man did this, she did that, he did that. The blame game. We use that as an excuse. This is how I am. You made me this way. We even have the quote that says, how I treat you is based on you. No, how you treat them is based on you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they do. You still are accountable for yourself. And when we learn and understand that we are accountable for our own actions and we are accountable for where we are, then we know better and then we'll do better. But we are responsible for our own healing. I don't care if daddy raped you, if mama beat you, if the white man did whatever. I don't care. You have to get to a point in your life when you say, look, I got to do something about this.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one suffering. Mama and daddy done gone on. Everybody living their happy life. You the only one losing sleep at night. You the only one stuck. You the only one that's thinking, walking around with an attitude with everybody. You're the only one that's affected.
That part.
When you get around like-minded people, then y'all have this big old party and it's all y'all together telling your woes, telling what you've been through. That's why I don't like group therapy sessions where you sit and you just tell everything that happened to you. Yeah. Tell me how I'm going to get past what happened to me. I don't want to sit and talk about the situation. I don't want to sit and talk about my divorce forever. I want to talk about what's coming after my divorce.
And listen,
okay, I'm divorced now. What's next? Where's Traci next? And I had to take responsibility for that because I have every right to be angry. I have every right to be mad. I could blow a life up right now in an instant if I wanted to. I got 31 years of secrets in my heart, but I choose to rise above that. And I choose to not make that an excuse to be bitter and angry and vengeful. I chose to live a life above that, because we are here for a purpose great. When Harold said that to me, that sticks in my heart. We are here for a purpose greater than ourselves.
That part.
But we got to get past the junk to get to the process, to get to the purpose. And so, all in a nutshell, you are responsible for your own healing. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. It doesn't matter what's happening right now. We each are accountable for ourselves. And if one person can make a difference, if each one teach one, then we can all make a difference. But if we all doing the same thing, acting the same angry way, who's teaching it?
Yeah.
Who's teaching? Who is teaching us that we can do better and be better? If we all sitting back doing the same thing, there has to be somebody. Jesus made a difference.
Yeah.
When Peter cut off the man's ear, he healed it. When they was getting ready to stone the woman, he wrote in the sand, y'all, he without sin cast the first stone. When the guy was at the pool of Bethesda, will you be made whole? He could have left him sitting there. When Simon was up in the tree and they told him to be, when the blind man was crying out, they told him to be quiet. Jesus said, come on. He made a difference. So you got to make a difference, but it starts with you. It starts in you, and then it starts in your home.
Yep.
We want to save the world, and we got people going to hell right at home.
Yeah.
So
look, you might as well just go pass a collection plate. The doors of the church are open. Is there one? Because you over here trying to preach, and it is.
I'm passionate about that because
it's true though.
I've been there. I've been there. I've been there, and I'm so tired of seeing, and my ministry is broken women. I'm so tired of seeing us broken and staying broken. Okay. I got hurt. I got betrayed. I got thrown away like I was. My story.
Yeah.
But I refuse to stay trash. I refuse to stay broken. The greatest revenge you can have is success.
That part. And not only that, not even success. The best revenge. It's not even about revenge. The best outcome you have after you've been hurt is to be whole.
To whole, yes.
And I say that because in my scars and stars, and I'm gonna say this out loud, y'all getting all my business because I think it's important for people to hear what you've been through and know that what you've been through does not define you. And so my story,
John.
So my story is real simple. I talk about it all the time. It's simple, but it's complex. I grew up in, what people coin a broken home. And in my mind as a child, there was nothing broken about my home. My mama held it down and held it together. Now, did I have a father in the home that was consistent and faithful? And were they married? Absolutely not. My father was more faithful to the streets. He was a man of his own pleasantries, to include drugs, alcohol, and women, and that affected how he parented. Unfortunately, he didn't start parenting until he was diagnosed with cancer, and I was in high school. And so at that time, it wasn't even really considered parenting. I took over that idea, that model, that concept, and I felt like I had to parent him. Now, whole ball of craziness and confusion. But from that, I was birthing a testimony about, dismantling these daddy dysfunctions, because I'm not the only one dealing with this. I'm not the only one experiencing the frustrations of a broken relationship with my father, who should have loved me. And he did love me with what he knew how to, but it wasn't enough. As a child, I needed more. I needed him to show me how a man loves a woman. I needed him to show me how a lady should be cherished and treated and respected and honored and valued. I needed him to take me to daddy-daughter dances. I mean, anything that he could have done, he did not do. And so growing up, I engaged in relationships with men out of my own misunderstanding of love and affection, impulsiveness. I used to joke about having Jezzy in my spirit. And for those that don't know what Jezzy is, Jezebel.
Jezebel.
That I was, out there hoeing it up. I wasn't. I was slightly proved. How you gonna be proved having sex out of wedlock? But I was proved. Ask about me. But I made decisions in my life that became costly. I had an abortion in college. I left college and still wasn't ready to give up these bad behaviors. I used to call it cheating on grace, because grace was afforded, and I still was like, I'm gonna poke the bear a couple more times. I'm gonna see how far I can get poking this bear. Okay, so after I had an abortion, I was free and clear everything. HIV, herpes, chlamydia, all that, because I wouldn't gotten tested, because I was like, no, you ain't about to be stupid again. You need to know these things. You need to make sure you in the clear. Moving down the road, I had a positive screening of something. Well, I guess it isn't positive. It's a negative screening of something coming back on your annual well woman check. And so all that future subsequent testing made it so that, I ended up having a hysterectomy at 28. I had HPV on my cervix. So my cervix was removed, and I had the strand that causes cancer. So I get cancer check screenings every year. And people are like, well, why are you so concerned about X, Y, and Z? Because I did this to myself.
Right.
I dabbled in God's grace over my life, and I made decisions that came with some heavy consequences. And now that I'm living life and living it more abundantly, and sometimes, if you look at my room, grossly abundantly, but living life abundantly, knowing that, I am his, he is mine, he takes good care of me, I want for nothing. I still have had to live with the idea of, you made decisions. They came with consequences.
Yes.
You are not condemned to them any further, but you are living in the now, knowing that where I took you out of and now where I brought you to was still by the grace that you tampered in 2005, that you tampered with in 2009,
yes.
that you tampered with in 1997. Like, I am not new to this. I tell people all the time, you can cheat on yourself all you want. You can cheat on grace all you want. You can cheat on life all you want, but the results will come back.
Yes.
The evidence will come in. And when it does, what fruit is bearing? Because you're going to eventually, those sins don't happen in a vacuum. So you're going to eventually have to tell somebody, because you may want to get married. They may want to have kids. You may want to X, Y, and Z yourself to somebody who has goals outside of everything you've done. So you want to be transparent and authentic and live in your truth.
Yes.
But not be condemned by it. And so when I talk about scars and stars, I'm not talking about some pretty pat, cute assignment that everybody's like, oh yeah, I stole a pack of gum at the grocery store when I was 10, and I kicked my sister down the stairs because she wouldn't let me play with her Barbie. No, I'm talking about your real afflictions, things that have held you back, lessons that you continually repeating because you hard-headed. Trust me, my butt is soft. I done learned a lot of lessons over life, but God, because I am not what I've been through.
Absolutely.
I am not there anymore.
Yes,
And
God.
so we have to live in the understanding that these things are not happening just because of X, Y, and Z. They're happening because sometimes you have to go through it. Because he's like, okay, you keep asking me for it, and I keep telling you no. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you. So you
That
can
part.
learn a real hard lesson.
That part.
That person wasn't for you.
That part.
You've attached to them, but they are not a part of your purpose. They are not a part of your destiny. They are not a part of your ministry, but you want them so bad.
But that's what God said about children of Israel. They wanted a king so bad. God said, you don't need a king. I'm your king. So he gave them Saul. Saul became a hard taskmaster. Then they went back saying, Lord, we don't want this. Well, you got the king now. So now you got to deal with it. Even though we may not still be in the situation, we still have to deal with the residue or the consequences of that situation. My therapist asked me, she said, because before I got married, there were a lot of things going on that red flags that I knew, but I thought I was getting the prize. And so she said, what made you think that you deserve someone who you weren't the only one he was with? What made you think to marry that person when they were already showing you who they were in the beginning? But I was challenged, that if you want them, you take them. Okay, I'm going to take them. But I didn't realize in taking him, I was damning myself to a life of this behavior. I was damning myself to a life of this behavior. Right. So I had to ask myself, what he did, he just did what he did. And it just pushed me to the place where I needed to be. Yeah. But I brought that into my life. I allowed that in my life. I dealt with that in my life, and I allowed it to be okay. So now that it hitting close to home, now it's wrong. No, it's been going on all along. You just never dealt with it. So I'm responsible for what happened to me. From the beginning, I am responsible. I take responsibility for my part in what happened, for allowing that to come into my life and thinking it was okay for it to be in my life.
Yeah.
But now I can, and even repeating the action. Since I've been divorced, I've dated two people actually really, really dated. And neither one of them were the ones for me. And I knew that. But for some reason, I was just drawn to that behavior. One of them wanted to keep me a secret, and then the other one wanted to control me. And so I had to think to myself, why are you allowing yourself to be drawn to these type of men in your life? So God had to sit me back and say, look, you need to take a time out. Take a time out. First of all, I need you to cut that off.
Yeah.
I need you to cut that off. I need you to cut this occasional rendezvous. I need you to cut that off. Because if that person don't want to be with you, then why are you meeting up with them? Why are you, and I'm just being transparent. Why are you going on trips with them? Why are you doing vacations with somebody who don't even acknowledge you in public? Why are you doing that? I didn't make you like that. You're a queen. So why are you allowing yourself to be treated like a harlot?
Man.
So I have to sit back and this soul tie thing is just hitting me in my gut.
Good segue. Go on, talk about some soul ties.
It's hit me in my gut because of the simple fact that we are tied to people, first of all, who are not tied to us.
Yeah.
And we are tied to people who are not in God's purpose for our life.
That part.
They are not in God's purpose for your life. You are, and we have to understand that when you tie yourself to somebody, that tie has to be broken before you can be released. And you can't move forward really and give yourself to the next person, place, or thing tied to the person behind you or the person placed the thing behind you. And we think we can just get up and go, get up and go. We replacing. A lot of us have not dealt with the soul ties in our life. We just keep adding to them.
Yep. And
so we have to learn. We have to learn how to let go and let God release us. So God did not create soul ties to be bad thing. God created soul ties to knit his people together so that the weak can bear the infirmity, the strong can bear the infirmities of the weak, that we will know to pray for one another and they shall be healed. He made a soul tie between husband and wives so that they will have an eternal connection to one another. Marriage was meant to last forever. It was not meant to be like it is now. You make me mad, I'm gone. Who puts in 31 years with somebody and then all of a sudden you ain't happy and you moving on? What happened for better or worse, rich or poor? We don't want to do that anymore.
We tap out people.
We're microwave people. If it don't happen, if it don't change like this, I'm gone. But what happened to if God brought us together, let no man put asunder, even yourself.
Because we don't want to do the work, Traci.
We don't
want to do the work because staying there would have meant I need to apologize to her. I need to repent. I need to confess my sin. I need to cut off the ties that I've created with people who ain't my wife.
Right.
I need to then apologize to my children. I need to apologize to my church. I need to apologize to the mentors and the mentees in my ministry circle. I need to apologize. There will be too much to apologize for. And sometimes that ego and that pride get in the way. And it's a killer. It's a killer of relationships. You can't have redemptive and restorative relationships if you are walking around with ego knowledge. When you are so far removed from seeing the truth of the matter, which means even you might be in your own way. Right. I was in my own way. Those years that I named just a minute ago, I was in my own way. And it was the acknowledgement of and the confession of being in my own way and the repenting of being in my own way. And then the turn around, not a 360, because then I'd be in the same spot, but the turn around, a 180 saying, yo, first of all, sis, you need to get your stuff together. Ain't no man of God gonna want you acting like a Jezebel.
Absolutely.
I already said for y'all coming onto the show, might need to catch the earlier part. That was a joke between me and my friends. I would say I got this Jezzy in my spirit when I wanted to go behave in manners that were not godly. And so, not that I wanted to destroy people, I was destroying myself.
That is
destroying myself because I knew if I laid down with you, I was done with you. I didn't want to be friends. We couldn't move any further because I knew it was a waste of time. Why was I wasting my time? Because I wasn't willing to do the light work. I wasn't willing to heal the things that had hurt me in that moment. And sometimes we keep piling, like Traci said, we'll pile stuff. But we can never get to the heart of the matter because we got all this other stuff piled on the first thing that hurt us, the first thing that broke us, the first thing that was bound to destroy us. And now somebody dropped a low water pen, a needle or something, and now your whole world didn't fall apart. It ain't the last thing that happened to you. It's the first thing that happened to you. And you put everything to stockpile on top of that.
I think her name is Talenia Mack. She talked about the caterpillar stage. Everybody, when you come out of a relationship where you have been tied to someone, you have to go through a process of being by yourself.
Yep.
You have to go through a process of allowing God, your higher power, whatever you want to call it, because I don't want to get into that semantics, but whatever, you have to allow yourself time to process that. When you are in a relationship with somebody, or you lay down with somebody, or whether even business, because we soul tie in business, you have to allow yourself time to get over the damage and the hurt that separation has caused.
Yeah.
And most people will substitute someone else for that work.
Come on now.
They'll substitute another relationship for that work, because most people who are in a relationship and are not happy in a relationship have already begun to seek someone else to be the next victim of the relationship. So they've already sought someone else. So you have to make sure that you take out time to deal with yourself, because like Shannon always says, if you don't, you're going to bleed on a person that didn't cut you.
Facts.
And one thing one person said to me, they said, I am not tearing down a wall that another man built. That's your responsibility. I will help you, but I'm not going to chop it down for you. That's your responsibility to deal with that. And he told me, he said, every time we get into an argument, I feel like you're talking to him, because I had not taken the time to really just dig deep and get that junk out of me until when my sister got sick and my sister died. That's when the Lord really, really started dealing with me on, you still got a soul tie, honey. You still tied to that man that has moved from Omaha to California.
Yeah.
What you can say all day long. Now, I'm not saying that you want to be with him. I'm not saying that you still want him in your life. I'm not saying that you're still crying over him. But what I'm saying is you are still tied to him. And it's up to you to break that soul tie and allow me to work in you to break that soul tie. And I'm going to tell you something. I didn't even realize it, because I didn't realize why I was feeling the way that I was feeling every time I would hear something. It wasn't like I was crying. It wasn't like I was envious. It's just like my stomach would get upset. Like, oh, like every time I would hear something, and I had to deal with that. And I didn't realize it was broke until it broke. When it broke, I was like, I literally said some choice words about that situation. And now I can honestly say that I am released. God released me, but I never released myself.
Yeah.
God can release us, but we have to release ourselves, and we have to do the work. So you have to go through that cocooning stage where you pull back by yourself. Take some time to work on yourself. Take some time to deal with the hurt, with the pain, the damage, because breakups hurt. Even in business, they hurt. When you are with somebody in business and y'all riding and y'all doing it, all of a sudden y'all fall apart.
Yeah.
That does something to you. And you have to deal with that. Take some time to heal yourself before you move forward and allow God to break those ties. Because if not, it's going to become a knot. It's going to become a knot. And you're going to find yourself attached to the character of the person you were with a different face.
That's a mouthful. And I will say to Tylena, hey cousin, hi Sonia.
Hi, Sonia.
I'm a big tattoo person. And Traci knows this. I have close to 25 butterflies up my leg. When I was a kid, we used to sing in the church choir the Caterpillar song by the Mississippi Children's Choir. And the song lyrics were, once I was a caterpillar, now I'm a butterfly. I've been reborn. I've been transformed. I've been reborn, and Jesus is the reason why. And one of the lines in the song that really always stuck with me, which is probably why I got all these tattoos of butterflies, is like, how could you, somebody asked how you could fly, and how is it that you were able to become a new creature? Well, I became a new creature in Christ. I mean, that's the reason why.
Absolutely.
The reason why had nothing to do with me. I was just the vessel he used.
Yes, God.
Experiences occurred. The situations happened. I made decisions. God kept me in his grace and his peace. And, like we said on the first show, this may not always be what you want to hear. Some of y'all may not believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and that is fine. That's your business. Not mine, but that's yours. But we are going to speak from our experience, from our expectations, from our education, all of that. And a lot of our connectivity to each other happened in the church. We met each other in the church, saw each other in the church. I worked under her through the Lord, working through her in the church. Saw healing and grief and loss and circumstances in a church. So it's like we became parts of the body together and became what each other needed, not just as body of believers, but sisterhood, friendship. So that's why we talk about things like dealing with ourselves and healing ourselves and doing our light work and the sister code and chasing after folks. We are set apart. it is important that we acknowledge that we are. And she listened to the video, was it yesterday? This video you sent me? And so I listened to a video today. And it's like, it's people out here hating on us and being rude and, not using that lightly, but out to get us in manners because we're valuable.
Yes.
And because it's like you have a bounty on your head because people don't want you to speak out. People don't want you to testify to the goodness. People don't want you to tell your story. And I say that, and I've been saying it since the height of murders on Black men and women. They were silenced because they were valuable, because they had a purpose and a destiny. And even after life, they are still valuable because there are people who are willing to fight in their name. There are people who are willing to march in their name. There are people who are willing to not forget them and say their name and try to hold those accountable who took a life, murdered, killed, put down, whatever you want to call it. We are valuable. So you have to look at the adversity that you experience, the pain that you go through, the circle that you may have to cut, the family you may have to disengage, the relationships that you might have to sever, the ties that you might have to release from your life, and say, my greater requires me to let some things go, to let some people go, to let some places go. If you're experiencing immense bouts of discomfort, it may not be because you are time to you need to get it together, or you need to figure it out and stay put. God may be saying, I've been telling you to move. I've been telling you to do this instead, but you're so comfortable here. Right. I had to make you uncomfortable where you've been comfortable all this time.
And now I realize, Shannon, that what happened to me was not even about him. I'm telling you, after I listened to Pastor Alexander last night, I realized what happened to me had nothing to do with him.
It's about you.
Had to do with the value of us. It had to do with the value of us. And so now I understand, okay, God, not only did what happened have to do with the value of us, but it had to do with the value of me, because it broke me.
Yeah.
Broke me to the place to where I did not want to live anymore. And thank God he stepped in and said, wait a minute, you ain't got no control over this. So now I'm like, and I said it just like this. When I opened my eyes, I said, damn, God, I'm still here. I said, I cannot do this by myself. You won't let me die, so I need you to help me live. And he said, if you trust and obey me, I will restore you. Me and my ignorant mind thinking, okay, we're going to get back together. We're going to go forward in ministry. God had to show me, no, I never said I was going to restore that. I said I was going to restore you.
Thank you.
That is exactly what God has done. We're looking for God to put back the pieces that have broken, that he allowed to be shattered. Those pieces may not be what he wants to put back together. He wants to put you back together on a new foundation. So now you have a new foundation, a new purpose in life. You know you're going in a different direction now than what you were before. God don't want you to go back to, people say, Lord, I want you to give me back what the devil stole. I don't want what the devil stole.
That part.
Stuff. God, give me some new stuff. Give me some brand new stuff. You know, and I'm just so thankful. And I always say I went from broken to building. Now I'm in the blessed stages. But I have to go through the process. I couldn't get stuck in the brokenness. I couldn't get stuck in the building. I can't get stuck in the blessing because there's still so much more for me to do.
Yeah.
But it's a process that you have to go through. And you have to understand that God, the ways of the Lord are higher above ours. He don't think like we think. So when you think God's going to restore that or restore this, God's saying, no, I'm going to restore you so you can do what I need you to do. There was a call on my life a long time ago.
That part.
I allowed myself to be sat down. I allowed myself to fall in line and be morphed into the person that person needed me to be, to walk beside him. And God said, no, I didn't call you to walk behind him in his shadow, living beneath his shadow, God and the man of God, and call you to walk in his shadow. I called you to walk beside him.
Yeah.
So now I got to pull you away from him so you can walk in the direction I need you to walk. There are some people that I need you to minister to. There are some people I need you to pray for. There are some people I need you to help. There are some things I need you to do. So I need you to come out from the shadow behind him and now do what I need you to do.
Because you wasn't showing up for yourself.
I wasn't showing up.
And I challenge people day in and day out. She was married. I've never been. But I guarantee you, relationships do not change in the principle of life. You show up for yourself, because the only way you're going to be able to show up for somebody else is if you show up for yourself. Right. If you are a content single person, you can try to be. And I'm going to say try to be, because there's somebody now involved in a relationship with you. You could be a content person in that marriage. You can be a content person in that relationship. But there may be some discontentment, because even though, like she said, we've gone through brokenness, we've gone through building, we've gone through blessing, we live in a fallen world. We are still going to experience things that will bruise us, that may attempt to crush our spirit. We may have to be in seasons where we have to prune or pluck.
Yes.
It is a reality. We either preparing for a storm, in a storm, or coming out of a storm. That is life. And that does not mean that we have to lay down and let the storm take us out. Take me, Lord. Take me. I can't do this. I can't live without him. I can't live without her.
Girl.
How was you living before they came?
Been there. I was her.
And that's what I'm saying it, because we have to be willing. One, you got to get you some wellspring oil to put in yourself.
Right.
Encourage yourself, feel yourself, heal yourself, know yourself, love yourself, all of that. And that's why I've been itching so long to get this restarted, because we owe ourselves. We owe ourselves. We have paid everyone else, and we paid them stuff we didn't owe them. We paid them because we wanted them to be in our lives. We wanted them to care. We wanted them to show up for us. We wanted them to think we're valuable. We wanted them to, we wanted them to put us on center stage in their life. And they already had somebody on center stage in their life. And so we had to stop doing that. We had to stop being doormats. We had to stop dabbling in grace. We had to stop treating ourselves like we were parking and needed validation.
Come on, Shannon.
We don't need to be validated by people. We don't need to be validated by places or things. What we need to understand is that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. And the plans that he has for our lives is to prosper us, not to harm us, to give us a hope future. So we have to be able to say, when somebody calls us stupid or fat or undesirable or don't have enough money or you're not tall enough or your stroke game is weak, we have to encourage ourselves. We have to remind ourselves who we are.
Right.
And stop discounting ourselves because, that person is near and dear to my heart and I love them and I don't want to lose them and they are everything to me. You need to be everything to you so that you won't be so stuck on a person, because that person is fallible just like you. They're going to disappoint you just like you. They may leave you. And when they do those things, how will you recover?
Right.
How will you relive the rest of your days past them?
Right.
Because we get attached, again, to people who are only in our lives for seasons and reasons.
Right.
And realize that everybody is not meant to spend a lifetime with.
Right.
Everybody doesn't have that stickability. If that's a word, I'm using it. Do not use it. I'm put on a t-shirt. But people want to be attached to us because they see our glow up, because they see the value in us. But that's also another reason why they tear us down.
Absolutely.
Because they see us glowing and they see the value in us. And other people get around that. And if you don't have all eyes on them, then nothing else matters. So we get in these abusive relationships. We get in these hostile environments. We get in these dysfunctional and toxic systems with ourselves, with other people. But you've got to say enough is enough. This whole concept of hurt people choose to hurt people. Right. That is a choice. Whether or not you made it willingly or unwillingly, you still made a choice. you're still going to have to come back to a day of reckoning where you say, self,
come on now.
You hurt somebody. You hurt them to the point where now they're hurting people. So you've created this domino effect of hurting people, hurt people. One, because you haven't decided to do your light work. You haven't decided to sit with yourself long enough to say, I'm sorry, self. I'm sorry, person I hurt. I'm sorry, community that I've affected, because we are bigger than what we seem.
Come on now.
Of how we deal with people and how it affects other people, because we then create these trickle effects. It's like a water hose where you turn it on in the sprinklers. If you were the hose and you turned yourself on, how many people would get wet? That's pretty much what you need to consider. And that's the same thing with the spirit in which you lead in relationships. If you are leading it with joy and abundance and good spirit and love and peace and kindness and all those things, people will be recipients of that.
Absolutely.
If you tear them down, if you make them feel like crap, if you treat them like they are the scum beneath your feet and all of these things that do not make sense, they're either going to walk away from you, stay because, again, they've attached themselves to you and you on the pedestal of their life. But when they do sever, or you sever that relationship because you get yourself together, if they don't do their work based on how you treated them, they're going to go out and do the same thing.
Right.
So when I look at dysfunctional relationships, dysfunctional marriages, because we know all of these things exist, I don't say, well, why these effed up people together? I'm in my head, I'm like, stay there until somebody do the work, because I don't want either one of y'all leaving to go find somebody
else and damage them.
Up somebody else who didn't hurt you, who didn't hurt you, who didn't harm you, so you can bleed on a good individual. They can drown in your misery and then go be miserable with somebody else.
And then it just keeps going. And I always say, you are the CEO of your life. If a person is not adding to your life, then they're taking from your life. And you have to ask God for the gift of discernment. And you have to do an evaluation. Just like you get an annual review at work, you got to do an annual review of the people of your life. And you have to decide who you're going to promote, who you're going to demote, and who you're going to fire.
Yeah.
Because everybody can't stay in your life forever. So you got to figure out, okay, is it, and then you don't have to always fire somebody. Just reposition them. You might have to put them from right here to over there. You might have to take that person from over there to right here. So you have to be able to examine the circle that you are in and realize how they're impacting your life. Because the way they impact your life is going to determine how you're going to live your life and the influence that you're going to have on others. Right. And the one thing you don't want, I keep saying it, Shannon, because you put it in my soul. The one thing you don't want to do is bleed on the person that did not cut you. And you don't want to allow people around you that keep feeding that hurt, that keep feeding them. One of the things I had to do when I left Omaha was I had to cut people off. Because they would call me, girl, I saw them doing this. Girl, I saw this. And they were feeding the hurt. They were fueling it and then waiting for me to respond. And God was saying, I was telling Kathy, every time I tried to rise up, God put somebody in the way. Man. God would not let me rise up. Now I see why. But there were people that were waiting for the sideshow. They were waiting for the spectacle. And so you have to understand that some of the people in your life are not in your life to push you. They're in your life to pull you or to prompt you to do something that makes you look like the spectacle they think you are, that Jezebel spirit. They're around you because they know you have value. They're around you because they're like a succubus. They're sucking the life out of you. And you don't even realize why you're so weak, because you got these people attached to you that's sucking the life out of you, family and other.
That part.
So you have to evaluate your circle and figure out, okay, who I'm going to vote, who I'm going to promote, who I'm going to fire, and who I'm going to reposition. And that has to be on a continual basis. But first and foremost, ask God for the gift of discernment.
Man, listen.
See what's in front of you. You have to have vision beyond sight.
We need to put spirit of discernment.
Yes.
On a t-shirt. That's Bible. And just so y'all know, because I'm a music head, that's also Jill Scott. Shout out to spirit of discernment. But one thing that I want to touch on, because it's so important, stop stressing about who's in your circle and find out who's in your corner.
Who's in your corner?
Yeah. Because it's a lot of people rowing in your boat with you, but they're not rowing in the direction you going.
Right. And they poking holes.
Oh, some of them just holes. Yeah, girl, this is a great trip. I'm glad I'm on it, but they not bearing no fruit. They not bringing value to your life. They not filling you up when you depleted. They take and take and take, and you just give and give and give. You got to realize that there are people in your life who are solely there to distract you from your destiny.
Come on, Shannon.
And they look good. They sound good. They might even feel good.
Come on.
And cut them off. Cut them off. If that means you got to come away with some scars, cut them off. Because they are not going to build you up. They are not going to minister to your life. They are not going to make sure that you eat. They gonna come when you bringing food and prizes and positivity, but they gonna drain you. Yes. Because they want to be sustained by what you got going on. They're not interested in sustaining you once you've been depleted. They not gonna stick around when you're down and out. They're not gonna support you. What they're gonna do is run back and tell everybody else, yeah, now she ain't got no money. Her business is horrible. Yeah, she just be spending and her man cheating, her children wayward, and oh my gosh, get you some people in your corner who gonna help pull you up by your britches and say, sis, bruh, you got this. You're not gonna be down forever. You down now, but we gonna be down for these 2.5 seconds. There's 2.5 minutes. There's 2.5 hours. The time you may need. But after that, you got to remind yourself. Somebody needs to put that in their spirit. After that,
yes,
you have got to get past.
You got to get up. Yes.
You got to get past the fact that you were down. Now you on the up and up. Now your stride.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Your spirit makes sense. Now your conversations make sense.
Yes.
Your connections make sense. If it don't do you good service, if it doesn't bring value to your life, and this has nothing to do with the popular manifestation culture. I'm not knocking nobody's game or hustle. Manifest what you want. But you need to get you some attuned spirit, some discernment. You need to say, does this align with where I'm going? Not because we manifest some demons. We manifest some negative soul ties. We manifest some bad business deals. Yes. We manifest some things that we don't need in our lives, because God will give you some things that you don't want.
Just to show you don't need them.
Just because you keep telling them, Lord, give me this, give me this, give me this. Right. I need it. I gotta have it. Like a drug addict.
And God will say, okay, here you go.
And then you find out that you almost died drunk in desperation, drunk in desolation, because you wasn't willing to walk in your destiny.
Like Alexander said, we're prophetic junkies.
Man, you know you a peasant.
Yes.
And you are not willing to put a crown on your head and say, I now have to do kingdom things.
Right.
I need to be about the kingdom. I need to build and esteem myself as royalty, because we are that. We are a royal people. We are chosen people.
Right.
The nation. And we got to walk in that. That means we're going to have to let some things go. And don't pull out no sage, good people, because you might find the person you need to sage is you.
It's you.
And that may require you to take a good introspection of self and say, I am the spirit that needs work.
And you should do that anyway. You should take an introspection. And this pandemic has been perfect for that.
Time.
Perfect for you to sit back and go in yourself and figure out where you are and what you need to do. The doors of the church did not shut for no reason. The doors of the church shut so you can figure out where you are when there is no church.
That part.
When you can't be preached happy, when you can't be sung happy, when you can't be prayed happy, where do you stand in your relationship with your God, your higher power, your Jesus, yourself? Because some of us have been so busy doing nothing. And now it's time for you to sit back and do some work on yourself. I promise you, that is all I have been doing, is trying to figure out what, Traci, God, where do you want me to be? Yeah. Even all the way down to this celibacy thing. God has just been, look, Traci, come on now. You want to be a wife. You can't be a wife if you out to be in a hoe. You can't do that. Ain't nobody gonna find you in a whole house and make you a wife. So now, if you want to be a wife, you got to start living like a wife right now. So you got to shut your legs, close your mouth, get yourself together, You know, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm telling you, when God is dealing with you, he is going to deal with you. I always say life will teach, but are we learning? God is going to show you you, but are you willing to take off the rose-colored glasses and see you for yourself and do some work to fix what you need to fix in yourself? We want God to open up the window. God said, delight yourself in me, and I will give you the desires of your heart. We cut off the delight yourself. We said, God gonna give me the desires of my heart. God said, if you delight yourself in him, and if you delight yourself in him, then your desires will line up with his delight.
That part.
Everything you want out of your heart is not the delight of God. So you got to take the whole thing. You have to delight yourself in him. Then he will give you the desires of your hearts, because your desires is going to line up with his delight.
I mean, don't he say it? He makes it very clear.
Very clear. We twist it.
Seek ye first
the kingdom of God
first. It don't say seek that man first. It don't say seek that house first.
Absolutely.
It don't say seek that job first. It don't say seek that new designer handbag first. Right. It don't say seek that business deal first. It says seek first.
Seek
the kingdom of God.
Yes. And his righteousness. Yes.
All these things shall be
added. All these things.
And it's like,
seek him in his righteousness. That's going to show you
that ain't worth it.
For you.
That ain't worth it. That ain't worth it. That's what it's gonna show you. That ain't worth it. Don't go down that alley. Don't go up that street.
Don't make that phone call. Don't send that text. Get out that inbox.
Man,
here.
Don't send that nude.
Right.
Don't be in that DM.
Don't send me that.
Don't be posting thirst traps on IG. Okay. This is, man, listen. When your mindset has been shifted, aligned, that's why I said I'm not knocking nobody's ideal and perspective, but manifestation culture is not it. Cancel culture is not it. When you align well, that's like the body. When the body's out of alignment, you feel it.
Right.
It's hard to function. It's hard to move. It's hard to breathe. It's hard to just be every single day. It's no difference when your spirit is out of alignment. When it's not aligned to the word of God, to the will of God, to the way of God, to it shows.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit is crippled. It is dismantled. It has dysfunction. It makes life hard.
Right.
And make life hard. It's not so and so and so and so that did it. It's not I had to work 10 days in a row that did it. We make life hard when it doesn't have to be. Even when we have scars, even when the stars don't seem to be coming in as quickly as the scars do, when the soul ties happen and we still got to do the work, we still make life hard.
Right.
It isn't hard. Love isn't hard. Doing the work is hard. But the reward, and people, there's a culture of people that say that, oh, I'm not worried about the reward. Okay, so change the word reward to result. You want to see results. The work that you do.
Absolutely.
You put in the work. There will be evidence. There will be fruit. There will be results. There will be proof. Because you put in the work. You've invested the time. I will see a difference. If you don't believe me, test it on yourself. Right. I've done the work. Tracy's done the work. And we're saying,
still working.
That part. Because life is an evolution. You are
absolutely
evolving. We want to evolve into our greater self every day that we have on this earth, past what we were the day before. So I don't want to be the same person I was yesterday. But a lot of us, myself included, are parts of the person we were yesterday, putting off things that we should have did yesterday, putting off things that we should have did 52 yesterdays ago. And it's like, but why? Why are you holding yourself back from being the best version of yourself by holding on to these things that you should have been done finished? You should have been done let go. You should have been done got rid of. I moved from state to state to state to state, and I carried the same boxes of books, the same boxes of vinyl records, the same boxes of X, Y, and Z. And I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, Shannon, you're not going to go any higher than all this stuff you got.
Right. Right.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Shannon's having a garage sale September 2020. Shameless plug. I don't care. God said do it. Say it out loud so it can be. you can align
for it. Yeah,
you can align well. I'm selling some stuff. It's got to go. I'm not giving this to Salvation Army because they're gonna make a profit off it anyway.
Right.
So I'm selling these things, one, because I paid for them, and two, because I want my money back. Not gonna get what I paid, but they gotta go. They gotta get out because my life requires me to go higher in Him, and I can't do it holding on to all these things. These things are holding me back.
Yep.
And the things that I want to become, and I'm visualizing for myself the alignment of my good in my life, the abundance in my life is requiring me to say, Shannon, do you want the stuff you have, or do you want the things that the future offers?
Come on, that's it.
If you don't want those future things, keep being complacent in what's happening around you. Keep being complacent with the things that you don't even play with, you don't touch, you don't burn candles, you don't read books, you don't play vinyls. Now I ain't giving away none of my vinyls. I'm sorry. I want to clear out everything else so I can play my vinyls, but I have no room to do the things I want to do, look through hundreds of records because I got everything else in the way. And it's like, you got to let some stuff go.
Me and Skylar had a conversation.
Tell me what Skylar said.
She had $6 and she asked her mom for some money and her mom wouldn't give her any more money. And so I said, but Skylar, I said, you have $6. I said, well, if you spend that, you'll get more money. She said, no, I won't. No, I won't. So she had the money balled up in her hand like this. I said, with your hand like this, Skylar, you can't receive anything else. All you're going to have is what's in your hand. But when you do this and you let that go, now your hand is full. So I literally showed her my bank account. I said, you see what grandma got in her bank account? I said, when you let go of what's in your hand, then grandma can take some out of there and put back in your hand. So we have to be willing to let go of the stuff that God doesn't want in our life so He can bless us with the stuff that we want as well as He wants to give us.
That's a word.
So you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, Shannon.
My hands is open, Tracy.
Let it go. September, you selling it all.
Man, listen.
You got some stuff. Plus, you want to move, and you want to, when you move,
that is why.
Okay,
it's I want to move. I'm losing weight, and don't get me wrong, some of the dresses ain't going nowhere. That is the good thing about curves. You can keep some things even when you lose some weight.
I love curves.
I'm just telling y'all right now, for those that are watching, those who will watch, who've already been in my inbox, a lot of these dresses are not going NT wear because I love a good dress. I
love your dresses. So
you know what? My mama trying to get me to bring one in September. I love her that much. I'm gonna pull it out of my bag and bring it to her because I'm like, okay, you can have it. But there are just things that I go to the All Saints outlet. So if anybody want to shop like me, I go to the All Saints outlet. I'm not paying full price for it. I like Filthy Rags out of California online. I have a fashion stylist out of San Antonio. Shout outs to Kirsten, like who I shop through. But those are just things like you have to get in the groove of what works for you. But I also know that I need to limit myself to just a wardrobe,
right?
Not an overflow because I don't need it. I wear the same things anyway. I usually have on a Goddess Dope shirt, a cardigan, things that change more frequently than not, glasses, earrings. And I wear a watch. I usually have on a skirt or a dress or some leggings, like workout leggings, so I can go walk, get my 6 miles in. But that's it. And so it's like, you got all this stuff for what? You got capes and caftans and dusters and dresses, and it's like heels that I ain't gonna wear. You know how I feel about my knees and my legs. When they start to wobble and go tumbling down the street like Jack and Jill.
I gave over 150 pairs of shoes last year. I took them to the church and let my first lady go through them first, and then I told her to pass them on because I'm out of stilettos. I'm done with them.
I'm selling them.
I might just be in sneakers, tennis shoes the rest of my life. I love them. I absolutely love them, and I'm gonna find me some cute ones to go with my little sundresses. And I'm just at that point in my life. It's about being comfortable. It's about being me and being free. I don't have to put up no airs for nobody. I don't have to do none of that. I just want to be free. I want to be me.
And I want to be in a place where I align well. I'm trying to be purposeful in my future endeavors with my businesses and, being able to create my own content with my t-shirts. I want to do my own t-shirts. Like, I love the person who makes my t-shirts now, but I'm trying to cut out all the middlemen in my life. Like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to tell you on this live that information you're getting. But eventually, that is the goal, to be my own brand. Like Shannon Ford-Jefferson is a brand. Like when I tell people who I am, what my name is, people always say the same thing. Oh, 2 presidents? Like, what do you do? My name is a brand. Period.
Right.
Like there is only one of me. I am valuable, and I have to walk in my own value and stop discounting myself and selling myself short.
Right.
I'm concerned with what's on my left or my right. I don't care if it's 30,000 people selling t-shirts. They're not selling the shirt I'm selling. They're not pressing the message that I'm pressing.
Right.
There will always be someone who is interested in the story you telling and the things you selling. There will always be. Even if you want somebody, they're going to be consistently in your corner saying, okay, I'll take that shirt. Oh, yeah, I'll take one of them poems.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll take a card. Always. There will always be someone who will show up for you because they believe in you. They understand the value in you. That's why I said it's not about your circle. It's about who's in your corner.
Who's in your corner. Absolutely.
Because that shows you that people are riding with you. People care about you, your growth, your development, your success. And like I said, if you got people growing and glowing, we all gonna eat. One person's success is not just happening to themselves. I'm bringing people along for the haul because we need to show up for each other.
It's the community.
We need to cheer each other on. And why would you want to be around people who are already building and growing in areas that you want to build and grow in?
Right.
Like I have people I'm pulling up because I've been pulled up. But that should be the expectation of relationships. We shouldn't be trying to cut each other down and tear each other up and show up one another and say, oh, I did it better. Your gift is for you to share with other people. It is a talent that you have that you shouldn't be hiding in a closet because you don't want nobody to know about it. What good is it there? And so we have to get past this brokenness, this woe is me, this oh so-and-so did it to me, I'm in this bad circumstance, and just be ready to be whole and functioning and successful and enjoy this life that's abundant. Like we can live, and my coach, I'm in this group, and shout out to Lakita, she said while everybody else was panicking because COVID-19 was happening, and don't get me wrong, COVID-19 is serious.
There is.
This. While everyone else was panicking, I was figuring out how I was going to align myself with my purpose and my destiny so that I wouldn't allow myself to become victim or prey to my circumstance. We're all dealing with COVID-19, but we don't have to let the circumstance control us.
Right.
Control our narrative. Some of us are starting businesses and doing very well. Some of us are flourishing in our ministries. Some of us are embarking on new cities and new jobs, new relationships, because we didn't let COVID-19 take us out.
Right.
It put us in a box where we were scared to try. There is no time like now. Now is the time. So if you have a product, if you want to be or do something, and we said this last week, and we'll probably keep saying it because we're going to be in COVID-19 for a while.
For a while, yes.
Stop waiting for the circumstance to change. Change you. Change your mind frame.
Change the narrative.
Change the narrative. Change everything about you that can be changed.
Yes.
So that you can see life different, from a different viewpoint and a different vantage point and a different perspective. Because if you can change your mind and your perspective, you can change your life, regardless of what the circumstance is.
Yep.
And it may be slow to happen, but everything that happens when it's supposed to happen is on time. And so we have to allow ourselves, like Traci said at the beginning, to trust the process, to enjoy the process. Because if we can live in those two things, the trusting and the enjoying, we will be overjoyed at the progress in the process.
Yes.
Because things are going to progress. Like you got to live it out. If you show up for yourself every day at the gym, you eating right, you maintaining, you getting good sleep, you watching what you filtering in your system, your body, your mind, your spirit, the scale will eventually show that. Your clothes will eventually show that. Your skin will eventually show that.
Show that. Yeah.
Post all these pretty pictures, but if you aren't living it, if you aren't applying it, the scale will eventually show that too. And so I say that because one, I've been there, I've done that, and I had to be honest about a lot of things. In the last group, I had told them I half did what I was supposed to do, and my scale showed that I was halving it, and that's on me. So when the new challenge started, oh, Shannon came to play no games. Honey.
I'm telling you.
Play no games. Our goal every week is 25 miles. I'm currently sitting on 35 and a half. Why? Because I came to play no games and the week is not even over.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if I don't choose to show up for myself every day, how can I expect anybody else to do it?
Absolutely.
How can I expect anybody else if I don't see the value in me? How can I expect anyone else to see the value in me? Because what they gonna do in their understanding of how to value things, they gonna put me in a discount bin because they know I don't see the value in me.
Right.
They're going to pass me off as a fruit on the ground, bruised and broken, because I don't see the value in me. But let me tell you, honey, I'm a fruit hanging on the tree. You're gonna have to climb that tree.
That's right.
Pick me off the tree to understand that the fruit that I bear is good and it's sustaining. And if I am in your life, friend, family, romantic, platonic, or otherwise, I am bringing value to you.
Yes.
I believe in the value I bring to myself. So I'm not going to shortchange you by giving you portions of who I am. I'm giving all of me because all of me has value. Now I am mindful, again, Traci says, spirit of discernment, to be cognizant and who gets what, because you don't just give all your goods to everybody.
Right.
But when you know who your tribe is by the connection of vibes, the alignment, if you will, it is easy to show up for people.
Yes.
It is easy to support and to give back and to love hard and to go hard for. Like, there are people who I already know they're not seasons or reasons, they are lifetimes.
Right.
And I'm going to show up for them. They call, I got it, it's theirs. No questions asked. Not looking for a payback, looking for okay, you got me on the next one. If I got it, you in my life, it's yours. Yeah. Period. Because you have to realize that when you have aligned yourself with your true, whole, higher self, which means you have done work, you have healed, you are addressing, you evolving, you are loving yourself, that cup is flowing. And in your giving of that to other people in relationship, it can then overflow into other people's lives.
Right.
Like I said last week, there is no half cup, half full, half empty. Your cup can be poured into and it can be poured out of.
Yeah.
And that is who we are. We are people who will pour into because we've been poured into. And that's abundance. That is a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. In 2020, like you said last week, Traci, 2020 is not over, and we're going to show up.
Yeah.
We're going to go out. We're not going to be held hostage by our circumstances because we've had a year. We've had circumstances hit us hard. But we're not down and we're not out.
Not by any means. Not by any means.
Not going to be. So what you got? We about to come to a close, but I want to make sure we got everything out. We did scars, we did soul ties, and we talked about the Jezebel spirit, and we didn't go much into that, but we will come back to that.
Yeah.
The show.
Yeah. I need to study on that some more before I don't want to come out of that. I don't want to come out wrong on that, or I want to make sure I got something in me.
And the one thing I will say about that before we move into our closing, for those who will have questions about the Jezebel label, and I love that he said what he said, Pastor Alexander, is that his name?
Yeah.
That he said that it is not a woman, even though it's defined as a woman in the Bible. And yes, Jezebel was a woman, but Jezebel is a spirit.
Yes.
It is a spirit that's coming to contaminate, to destroy, to afflict, to conflict, anything that has value. And so we are attached to things that are Jezebels in our lives, and we need to
Yes.
go ahead and be mindful of that, because we thinking because they cute, because they sweet, because they funny, because they got money, because they my honey, that they fine with me. But the thing is, yeah, they fine with you until you realize you over there bleeding out, and ain't nobody gonna resuscitate you.
Because Jezebel's spirit don't show up as a Jezebel spirit.
Don't.
It shows up as like he said, they lay in wait. They integrate themselves into your life. They
That
come
part.
in as friends, and then they separate you out from everybody else. And when everybody else is talking about you, they don't worry about them. I got you. I'm gonna be here for you. Next thing you know, all you got is the person with the Jezebel spirit. And now you looking at your life and wonder, how the hell did I get here? How did I get here? You got bamboozled. You got hoodwinked. Plymouth Rock fell on you.
That part.
Spirit,
So
the
part.
havoc in your life, and you ain't even realized that it was there. So yeah, that's a topic we're gonna have to touch on.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So before we close, we just want to thank everybody who came in the room, who sat with us, who commented. Please share the live. We love to engage our viewers. If you have questions, you are free to ask them. We will answer them. We believe in being transparent and authentic. Like I said last week, a set apart woman is about being real, raw, relative, and relational. And if we can't do that, then we should not be doing this.
Right.
And so we lead from a foundation that's firm and steady in Jesus Christ. But we are also women who have honest reflections of what life has done to us, for us, and because of us. And so we are not going to withhold information, but we are also going to be able to tell you, hey, we did it. Don't try it.
Right.
Don't try this at home.
You don't have to learn everything the hard way.
Look, you know. And we are going to encourage you to seek the road less traveled, to be set apart. And that's not just women. Men can be set apart too. And try to do things that minister well to your spirit. Don't be doing everything everybody else is doing, because you're going to end up hurting yourself and then subsequently hurting other people.
Right.
And so next week, with the blessing of the good Lord, we are going to be talking about the art of forgiveness. With my dear friend Jula Prevalon. I went to Dallas Theological Seminary with her, and this is a topic that she speaks from often and well. And I heard her last night on this Zoom Eventbrite. And when I tell you that 2 hours of conversation, I was like, she is requiring us to do some work. And I feel like she cut me deep right here asking these questions about why we not willing to forgive people. And I think it was said by T.D. Jakes, we need to give people the same grace we give ourselves. Mm-hmm. You know, we want everybody to arrive and be perfect, but we haven't arrived and we ain't perfect. How is that? And so hopefully next week she will impart some truth. We'll be able to have conversations. We both have issues and concerns and have dealt with things that have challenged our own areas of forgiveness. Both me and my family and my parenting, and you and your previous marriage. And so hearing us impact and impart and then unpack these things next week will be really beneficial. So bring your notebooks, your pens, your friends, your coffee. Bring your open minds and your open hearts, and just feel whatever is being presented. Again, if y'all have any questions, y'all know how to reach us individually, and we'll go over those. If there's any topics y'all want to discuss, let us know. We are open. We do have a couple of things set in stone upcoming, but we are open to future conversations. And if you feel like you have something to bring and want to be on the show, let us know. If it aligns with what we're doing, our purpose, our mission, our vision, you got a seat at this table. But yeah, that's all we got for today. We are so glad y'all joined us. Traci, tell us all your business. Tell us what you got coming down the pipeline. Show us the shirt again. So they can
see this shadow. That's my brand. That's my LLC. And everything falls under the umbrella of Living Beneath This Shadow. Underneath that umbrella, there is livingbeneath.wordpress.com, which is my blog. There is Living Beneath This Shadow Morning Inspiration Show, which comes on Oh So Smooth Radio. This way.
Yes,
every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. and repeats every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. There is also the Friday Chronicles, which is my Facebook Live that comes on 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. There's the 9 a.m. Sunday Morning Encouragement that also comes on Facebook every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Coming down the pike, I have a book offer that I am going to do. And these people are so serious. They have given me 30 days to get them a transcript. I am going to do it. It's the book on breaking the soul tie. And then my book will follow after that, which is Living Beneath the Shadow, God and the Man of God, My Road to Freedom. And so I've got some things. Every time it looks like I get antsy with God about where I am, he starts to add more to my plate to show me that he's got me. So you can reach me on Instagram as well as Facebook under Traci J Caver, as well as Living Beneath the Shadow.
Amen. I support all of that. Set Up Our Woman has an IG, so if you want to support us there, come on, follow us, leave us message. Is Set Up Our Woman _ the IC. So Set Up Our Woman _ the IC, and that stands for the Intimate Conversations.
THI.
The what?
THIIC.
Yes, THE.
Yes, I was like THEIC.
Yes, ma'am.
I was looking for it. All right.
IC. And you can actually type in Shannon Ford-Jefferson and you'll probably see 1,000 IG pages because I have about 7. I'm sorry, I apologize. But yes, follow us there. We don't have a Facebook page yet, but we will have one. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Shannon Ford like the president _ Jefferson like the president. Shan Ford Jeff, the first 4 letters of each of my names, Shan Ford Jeff 82 on Instagram. And I am also in another podcast on Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the Mars and Venus show, Men and Women Talk. It talks about dating, relationships, finances, and yourself. And so you could join us there. It is posted to Facebook, but it's coming out of StreamYard as well. I also go live on Sundays to still continue to promote Dismantling Daddy Dysfunctions, which is my 6th book of poetry, which will be out May 21st, 2021. And its counterpart, Mirroring Mommy, which will be out August 14th, 2021. Both books honoring my parents, but also talking about my relationships with men and women. And so we thank you again for joining us here on A Woman, where we believe that every intimate conversation should be real, raw, relative, and relational. I am Shannon Ford-Jefferson, and she's
Traci J.
Thank you guys, and we'll see y'all next Friday at 10 a.m. Bye.
Bye.